you can build a 3D game without writing any code yourself at all. And I'm going to show you how to do it. The first thing we're going to have to do is download two things. Unity, which is the game engine that is going to allow us to build this entire game. Then you're going to download Cursor, which is an AI program that's going to take care of the without writing any code yourself at all part. For those who don't know, Cursor is an AI-powered code editor that understands your code base and helps you code faster through natural language. Okay, basically you just feed it prompts like ChatGPT and it writes code for you. So all of the parts of making a game in Unity that require coding can be done in Cursor. By the way, I wanted to quickly mention that if you want a place to upload your game once you're finished with it, you can do that on VIVERSE for free. And we actually have a video showing you how. Click on the card above to check it out. Okay, now before we move on with any more technical stuff, let's just lay out how our game is going to look like. I want this to be super simple so that you can see just how easy vibe coding can be. And also so I don't pull my hair out showing you how to do it. I want my game to be a simple first-person game. I want it to take place in a maze where you simply try to collect jack-o'-lanterns, and once you collect them all, you get a congratulations. I think that's simple enough. These will essentially be your assets. Okay, now back to the technical stuff. Once you've installed both Cursor and Unity, open up Unity and create a new project. I have mine saved to a folder on my external hard drive called Unity Project, and I named my game Pumpkin Run. But name yours what you want. Select Universal 3D and then create your project. Once you've opened up your project, let's allow Unity to access the scripts that we make in Cursor. Just hit Edit, Preferences, External Tools, and then click on that drop-down menu next to where it says External Script Editor. And then browse to find Cursor. It should be in like your hard drive under Program Files and Cursor. Okay, now that we've set up the basics, let's gather those assets we talked about. You can find really cool templates for free and super cheap at the Unity store and a ton of other places. Sketchfab is another popular choice. I'll use an asset from both Sketchfab and Unity today just to show you how easy they are. First, we'll grab our environment, and I want it to be something super simple and already well put together. That way we can avoid as much work as possible. For this one, we'll head over to the Sketchfab website, click on Buy 3D Models at the top, and search for what you're looking for. I'll type in maze. This low poly maze looks perfect. Download the GLB file and drop the contents into your assets folder. In Unity, you might find that this file doesn't look like anything usable. It might have a generic icon like this. And in that case, that's because Unity doesn't work well with GLB natively. To fix this, go up to Window, Project Management, and then select Project Manager. At the top left, hit that plus sign and type this. And let Unity do its thing. This is a plugin that allows Unity to use GLB files. Once you've done that, the next part is actually extremely satisfying because you just drag and drop the maze onto the plane. Okay, next we need a controller, and notice how we haven't done any coding yet. Well, we still aren't going to be doing any coding. Head on over to the Unity Asset Store because why start from zero when you have perfectly good first-person controllers here for free? In the store, type in first-person controller. Alright, I'm sure there are many that work, but I'm going with this mini FPS controller because mini to me sounds like it's going to be both small and cute, but also easy and free of headaches. Click Add to Assets, and then open in Unity. And once you're there, import the asset. You can now straight up drag and drop that controller from your Assets folder onto that maze you added in the scene. Make sure to look for the prefab. There's two here. I'm going to use the minimal one. Alright, you almost have a fully fledged game here. Press play, and your character falls through the map. This is embarrassing. This is basically Game Design 101. The maze floor needs what's called a collider so we don't fall right through it. Select the maze floor and add component. Add box collider. Then select the other object, which is the hedges themselves. That will be a mesh collider. This is going to add a collider that's shaped like the object itself. If you get an error saying you're using the wrong input, you simply need to tell Unity to use both the old system and the new one. It's complicated computer stuff, just do this. Go to Edit, Project Settings, and then Player. Scroll down to Other Settings. Under Active Input Handling, change it to Both. This lets old input functions work alongside the new input system. Then click Apply and restart Unity. Next, we need those jack-o'-lanterns to collect. So let's head over to the Unity Asset Store again. Alright, these Halloween pumpkins look perfect. Open it in Unity. Once you've imported the pumpkin, if it's anything like mine, it might end up looking pink or gray/white, lacking detail. I go over to the Textures folder and literally just drag the proper texture over it, like this. Place your pumpkin into the world, and let's run the game again. If you can see your pumpkin fine, then you're in a good place. Okay, now remember when we did all that technical stuff with Unity and Cursor? Well, right now is when it's gonna pay off because it's time to start vibe coding. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do in Unity is go to Assets, Open C# Project. Because we set Cursor as our external editor earlier, this is gonna automatically launch Cursor. Now, in Cursor, you're gonna wanna initialize and index your project, meaning you're allowing Cursor to sort through your project files, and set it up so that Cursor can reference them and your assets when it's making scripts for your game. Allow it to search through those folders, and Cursor should locate all of your assets. This part is like magic. You can literally see Cursor in real time indexing your folders, and then it lays out all the context, rules, and components of your game. Now I'll give Cursor context for my scene. I'll tell it that I already have the maze loaded in Unity with a first-person controller, and of course that I want to collect pumpkins. Here's how I prompted that. From here, more magic happens, and Cursor literally writes all of the scripts that you need so far to make your game work. And it even laid out a list of things I have to do to get those scripts and my game ready to play. Here's what it says to do. So we're gonna create an empty game object and call it Game Manager. And then add a component, which is the Game Manager script that Cursor made. Then add a component to the pumpkin you have on screen. Select the Pumpkin Collectible script. Also create a collider component, make it convex, and then tick the trigger box. This will make it so that the pumpkin knows to trigger the collectible script when collided with. That's right, this pumpkin knows things. Next, you are going to create the UI that's going to be overlaid over the screen, telling us how many pumpkins we have out of the total pumpkins. So go up to Game Objects, UI, and then select Text Mesh Pro. Then attach the Pumpkin Counter UI script to it. So your game is essentially done. However, when you start it, what you'll notice is that the formatting of the text might be weird, the font is generic, and the positioning on the screen may not be ideal. You can fix this straight from the inspector on the left, and then mess with the transform coordinates. Now press play and collect the pumpkin. It should disappear, the UI should count it, and if you've collected all the pumpkins in the scene, the UI should tell you that you've won the game. Now what you're going to want to do is just duplicate the pumpkins and spread them across the map. Because you already have the pumpkin counter script on the original pumpkin, the game text will automatically update itself based on how many pumpkins are in your scene. Just like that, you now have a functioning, playable game. If you thought that was easy, you'll be surprised with just how easy it is to take the game that you already have to the very next level. And we're talking lighting, music, enemies that chase you, a UI that you can interact with, and much more. So if you want to learn how to make your game even better, and more importantly, scarier, like this video and subscribe for more Unity tutorials.